Oh, nothing like a sad song to bring in our sad first topic of the day. But hey, let's not start out too sad. It is the RAWBall podcast, episode 3, I believe.
I
Are we
believe
at
this is
episode
the
3?
third week of our actual podcast.
Episode 3, and we were thinking 2 days ago that we didn't have shit to talk about, but over the last 24 to 48 hours, we've gotten quite a bit. So
Starting
let's
off
just jump.
with breaking news.
Yeah, let's jump in with breaking news. This is on ESPN, and I'm going to read this verbatim. Milwaukee Bucks co-owner Mark Lazary has reached an agreement to sell his portion of the Bucks to Cleveland Browns owners Jimmy and Dee Haslam at a value of approximately $3.5 billion. The factory of sadness has grown tentacles. Milwaukee, I am so sorry. And I know that sounds about as sincere as a get well card from a mortician. But, yeah. Oh, God. Fuck the God, Milwaukee. I'm so sorry.
Because Milwaukee has such a good team. And if we know one thing that the Haslam brothers have done in Cleveland, it's burn their team to the fucking ground.
You guys ever heard that Jerry Lee, speaking of Jerry Lee Lewis, who died this summer, that Jerry Lee song, "What's made Milwaukee famous has made a fool out of me"? Well, Milwaukee, what's made you famous has just made a fool out of your ass because you done sold to Jimmy Haslam.
I don't know why they would accept that at all.
Meanwhile,
I guess the major partner just wanted out, and Haslam has the money. I mean, he's right up there with Jerry Jones in terms of net worth.
Fair.
I was about to say he's got a lot of money, but
Not.
I can only think because Milwaukee can finally be proud of like their basketball team. They've been shit for years,
Decades.
and now we're looking at this going, "Oh no, they're gonna burn it to the ground."
Burn it down.
What do you guys think Giannis Antetokounmpo's going next season?
Miami Dolphins.
Playing the football now.
Maybe Haslam just doesn't quite. Maybe he thinks he's bought another football team. But yeah, that's our breaking news. So that purchase only surpassed by $4 billion for the Phoenix Suns and $4.65 billion for the Denver Broncos, which is going to be our little segue into NFL news. The Broncos have a new OC.
I cannot believe. So, Joe Lombardi,
Get
to those who don't know, offensive coordinator for the Chargers past couple seasons.
Don't leave.
Didn't do terrible, but one thing that he did prove, not so good at keeping the team together. The injuries that the Chargers consistently had on offense is very prevalent.
And let's not forget that Justin Herbert ranked 32 in the NFL out of 32 teams for air yards per pass at 6.5.
And Herbert's not an arm.
And David has joined us. Hey, David.
David.
Hey.
How are we doing today, David?
Carry on my wayward son.
If you just arrived, you missed breaking news. The Browns owner, Jimmy Haslam, has now bought the Milwaukee Bucks of basketball. And Joe Lombardi's my fucking offensive coordinator.
Yeah. So tell us about that, Matty. We need to pair this because we got a little bit of arithmetic here. They're adding Joe Lombardi, but based on reports, they are subtracting Jerry Jeudy. So, Matthew, as our resident Broncos fan, give us your 2 cents here.
First off, I got the Broncos baseball jersey on. Because
maybe if they play, Russell Wilson was a hell of a baseball player. He almost chose baseball.
Oh, Cap, check this out. It's a Champ Bailey.
A Champ Bailey Broncos baseball jersey.
It is so nice.
Try to say that 5 times fast.
Well, I'm saving my White Sox game day jersey for opening day.
Yes, David.
Yeah, yep. The Bucks are fucked.
You're coming around.
Doesn't take long to realize that, but yeah, the Broncos add Lombardi, subtract Jerry Jeudy. Matthew, what the fuck is going on in the Mile High City?
All I know is that anybody that I know that's a Broncos fan absolutely loves Jerry Jeudy.
I do.
I love Jerry Jeudy.
Raiders fan, and I love Jerry Jeudy. I think
he's great.
Jerry Jeudy is phenomenal
I'd
at
love
his
to
role
him.
of wide receiver. But if we are literally taking on this offensive coordinator, I would much rather Jerry Jeudy go away so that way he doesn't end up with a fucking career-ending ACL or fucking back injury. How many seasons has Mike Williams not played a full season?
Every season.
Yeah, I can't think of a single season where he had just playing time and he
solid full
was,
season.
Yeah.
If that's the trade-off, Jerry Jeudy, like Von Miller before you, go get yourself a ring, baby. But
well, the three leading candidates, I believe, were the Cardinals, the Patriots, and the Panthers.
Okay, if I'm looking at that, I would not be remiss to see him in a Patriots jersey. He's definitely not going to keep the same number. David, shut up. I know I'm trying not. I'm trying to help you, damn it.
But hey, that would give the Broncos a first-round pick, which they do not have.
And a solid backup in Bailey Zappi. I'm not gonna lie. If that's what your offer is, David, take Jerry Jeudy. Give us a first-round pick, please.
Look at the young man already. 30 seconds later, he's backtracking this sumbitch.
No, I'm not gonna lie though. I will be so sad if Jeudy leaves because that is like legit one of the only bright spots of our offense.
So what is the? You're gonna have to kind of educate me here. Okay, so the Broncos offense. We have Joe Lombardi at the top. Then we've got Russ.
Joe Lombardi runs the West Coast offense. Russ has ran the West Coast offense most of his career.
Okay, so what? So let's say Jeudy is gone. What are your weapons for Russ?
We got Cortland Sutton.
Okay, so.
What is his? Fuck.
The tight end?
No, Hamlin. Or what's his name? I'm not gonna lie, guys. It's been a minute since I've looked at the team because I don't want to know who we've lost.
Sometimes it's just so sad you don't want to look at it. It reminds me of my mother-in-law.
All right, so on defense, we still got Justin Jefferson.
I said offense.
We're not worried about your defense.
Talking about as much of a defensive guy as I am, I do understand that at some point you have to score some points, which the Broncos did not really do that well last season. Who is Russ going to throw or hand the ball to?
Himself.
We just got Chase. Greg Dulcich. That's our tight end. Dulcich can catch if he can get open. Chase Edmonds coming in from Miami. That's a pretty good grab for us. KJ Hamler. That's his name.
Okay, Hamler and Sutton are not a bad.
They're a good duo. They're
twos. They're not. It's not like one's
we have no ones.
You got two twos, not a one. It's like George Carlin said. I never fucked a 10, but one night I fucked 5 twos.
We tried to run Cortland Sutton as our one. Unfortunately, we had Drew Lock as our fucking quarterback.
Did we break down?
Oh shit!
10 minutes in, we broke down.
I've never fucked a 10, but I fucked 5 twos. That is.
First rounds. Let's slide away from my misery for a second.
So next big story before the biggie, the commies have released Wincy.
Yep.
Which I would love to see him be a Raider. I've always loved Carson Wentz, in spite of the facts that I shouldn't.
I am a Carson Wentz hater, so I will let you get your shit off your chest, and then I will come at you with a counter argument.
Well, the Raiders are going to be dog shit regardless, but I'd rather at least have a quarterback under center who I at least like, and I can, not hate, as opposed to us paying a shitload of money to Aaron Rodgers, who's only going to be there for a year, maybe two.
By the way, tune in to Pat McAfee, Aaron Rodgers Tuesday tomorrow.
Yeah, that's a nice segue. So BF has officially sued Pat McAfee. I believe Maddie has the thumbnail.
Yeah, I do. Just let me
pull it
up for you guys. Bada boom. Let's get that banner down real quick so that I love that it's just there because it's supposed to be, but that he's got it in the picture. Is child support contemplated as an issue?
I mean, I think I know where all three of us stand on this because, Brett Favre went from, let's say, around the year 1999, 2000, being arguably the most beloved player in the NFL to now 20 years later, this guy's a fucking scumbag.
Absolute scumbag.
I mean, whatever redeeming qualities he had have slowly diminished over the years to the point that he is, 2 murders away from O.J. Simpson.
Ooh.
I mean, he literally has nothing left. I mean, if tonight I go downstairs after the show and I turn on CNN and I see a white Bronco driving across the Mississippi Delta, I'm going to imagine Brett Favre's in the back seat.
Yeah, no, this is such a crazy.
And sue my ass, Brett Favre, because you ain't going to be able to get much.
We're at the point right now where, and I'll just throw the word out there, allegedly. All this is alleged. It happened. Yeah, no.
Well, if you're a Fed of Letterkenny, the ginger allegedly fucked an ostrich. So, I mean, what's the term allegedly worth these days?
Yeah, this lawsuit is over defamation of character.
How can you defame someone who has no character left?
Yeah, I was about to say, Brett Favre is suing Pat McAfee for defamation. And
so, Brady boy, you ain't got no character left.
Yeah, the texts have come out. There's enough.
Oh, we have texts.
Yeah, that was about to say. I don't have them pulled up currently, but there has been evidence pulled out that Brett Favre is doing this shit. Like, he took how much money from Mississippi welfare?
Too much.
The poorest state in our country.
Next to mine.
That geologically end, right?
Oh, we've got a guest.
Yeah, my guest just left my back.
The face of the RAWBall podcast.
Miss Mangums.
Anyway, yeah, he took money from the coffers for the poor,
and then turned it into a volleyball stadium, volleyball arena. Like, that is ridiculous. Anyway,
your state don't need money, but we want to watch volleyball.
Jumping into money, we're gonna just pop up Maddie's Monday parlay.
Oh,
I've got the Celtics to go over the Knicks.
Maddie Monday
to go over the Golden Knights in hockey, and the Bruins to go over the Oilers. This isn't a very busy Monday, so
as much as Rob Van Dam was Mr. Monday Night, Maddie is Mr. Monday Parlay.
Monday Parlay. Now, this one we'll jump into, and actually, let's jump back to this real quick because I want your guys' opinions.
Yeah, we haven't talked about this yet. The Bears and the first overall pick. Now, this is not first. Let me pull up the story on ESPN here. This is not a for sure thing just yet. Let me read the thing here.
No worries.
So, quote, the Chicago Bears have been approached by multiple teams about trading the number 1 pick in this year's NFL draft. And Chicago is said to be, quote, leaning toward moving the pick, according to Adam Schefter. The Bears on the top pick in a year when anywhere from 8 to 12 teams could be looking to make a switch at quarterback.
So, with that being said, the Commanders, the Panthers, the Texans, the Texans, I can guarantee, are like, we will trade you the 2nd overall pick right now.
Raiders need a quarterback.
Raiders need a quarterback.
Shit, if this doesn't go well, the Ravens are gonna need a fucking quarterback.
No, you guys didn't. You guys done slap that tag on him?
Not yet.
Not yet, but from what I've understood, it's coming.
It has to be. Like
from what I've understood, they're going to slap the tag on him initially, but the reported deal is somewhere around 6 years, $350 million for Lamar Jackson. That's what I've been hearing, but nothing is confirmed yet.
I think I also heard with a guaranteed 133 mil.
Yeah, but it's 6 years, $350 million for Lamar is what the negotiations are looking like. So
the Giants might be looking for a quarterback if
Danny Dimes, who wants
a year. Daniel Jones fired his agent, hired a new one. I forget which one he hired.
He probably hired Boris.
It's a big time agent, and this agent
Boris is the sports agent.
His ear and told him that Daniel Jones is worth $45 million a year. And
hey, if you believe I've got some oceanfront property in Arizona, I can sell you too.
You know, we got some great oceans out here in the state of Colorado. Let me tell you.
Well, that's an old George Strait song. Mm-hmm. I got some oceanfront property in Arizona. If you'll buy that, I'll throw the Golden Gate.
So, are the Giants dumb enough to pay that money for Danny Jones?
Yes, Giants are dumb enough.
If he had one good season, guys, and it was his contract season, one good season.
Giants, you pay Danny Dimes $45 million a year. You deserve your fate. I'm sorry, and I don't dislike Daniel Jones. I think he's
a good kid.
In this current NFL market, I would say he's worth plus or minus $15 million a year.
I'll go shoot for 12.
Plus or minus 15. That's within three. When I say plus or minus, I'm talking about within 15 to 18 or 15 to 12, somewhere in that, 3 million, in that range. I would be fine with that, but 45 million, fuck that.
No.
You want to get 45 million?
Yeah, on the topic of people leaving, we also got Bobby Wagner leaving the Rams.
Yep. He's looking for suitors as well.
I have the current NFL transactions currently in front of me.
All right.
So, as of yesterday, the Jacksonville Jaguars signed JaMychal Hasty to a contract extension.
Yep. Okay. Very, very, very deserved.
Well, solid. Running back.
On Friday, the Vikings named Grant Udinsky assistant quarterbacks coach, and Lance Bennett is their quality control and defensive coach, as well as Mike Saravo being their inside linebackers coach. Quarterback C.J. Beathard signed a contract extension for the Jaguars. And the Reds, the Commies. I almost fucked up there. The Commies.
The Reds.
Yeah, the Reds. The Commies have signed David Mayo and Jonathan Williams to one-year contract extensions. Jonathan Williams is a good thing to re-sign.
Oh, wait a minute. We might have some breaking news here.
Oh?
Okay, well, not significant. We can save this till we get to baseball, but apparently the baseball story I discussed with the Cardinals before we got started.
With the manager?
MLB has actually opened an investigation into this.
What?
Oh, lovely. Just what I needed.
I was about to say, I guess
it's not huge, but it's something we'll touch on.
Yeah, I was about to say, we'll touch on that whenever we jump into that. Quick question. Quick prediction, actually. Where do you guys see the first pick going to if the Bears do trade?
Lions.
The thing is, there's not a stud standout. This is not a quarterback-rich class.
No.
And yes, there are a lot of teams who need quarterbacks, but Carson Wentz is free as a bird. Actually, Dave, I'm more of an Allman Brothers fan than a Leonard Skinner fan, but honestly, so the number one overall pick is the kid from Georgia, right?
I would go Stetson Bennett because he actually went back an extra year to, stay in college, get that.
He had that legal thing where he's like dropped to like the third or fourth round, apparently, right?
Oh yeah, that's right. He got arrested after the game.
For what?
So that probably jumps Bryce Young up to number one, yeah?
Yeah, Bryce Young would be your number one pick.
And Bryce Young's about as tall as Kyler Murray.
Oh wow.
So, I mean, and again, the quote leaning toward. If I'm the Bears, I'm holding for now, and I'm not saying I wouldn't trade that first pick, but I'm not. We've got so this is February 27th. We've got basically 2 months until the draft.
Yeah.
So
look for the defensive stud of the combine.
Yeah,
which
the combine isn't even is like the week of the draft.
Actually,
roughly the week before.
Do you see the Rams trading Jalen Ramsey for the first overall pick?
Yes. Because the
Didn't
Rams
he just get a contract extension though, like last year.
The Rams are ring rich and wallet poor right now. So they got their ring, but they are paying significant alimony for all the draft picks they've traded, and their payroll. There's people forget the NFL has a salary cap, and the Rams have a lot of money tied up in Ramsey, Stafford, Donald's. Remember, Donald went to the Bills.
No, that's Miller.
Yeah, that was Miller.
Von Miller. Okay,
Miller went to the Bills.
And then you got the wide receiver, the white guy.
Oh, Cooper Kupp, that they signed to like a 6-year extension.
Yeah, 2 Coopers, 1 Kupp.
That was a massive extension that they gave a wide receiver too.
Rams.
And OBJ's free agency.
Oh, please.
I see him going to the Cowboys. That's who had the best.
Yeah, that's a Jerry Jones.
That they have the best interview with him apparently. But also, reportedly.
Okay, have you guys ever? Okay, I'm guessing your ladies have either of you guys ever been to a strip club?
No.
Once.
Okay, I've been to a few. Not that many because I'm not a big fan of them, but I've been to a few. There's always one guy in a strip club who is throwing out more money than everybody else, regardless of who's at the pole. Jerry Jones is that guy who's going to be throwing out money
on the pole.
Then, regardless of who's on the pole, Jerry Jones is going to be throwing out money because that's what everybody's looking at. Oh, well, we need that guy for the Cowboys so we can, get this.
Jerry Jones is the type of guy that would go to a strip club with 2 money guns, hold them up, and just make it rain.
Sounds like John B. Bad back in the mid-'90s with the Bad Blaster.
The last thing I got to say on that number 1 overall pick, I see it maybe going to the Panthers. I don't know what they got to trade for it, but they're probably going to empty a lot because the Panthers have been full wiping.
Let me take a look here. They don't have any players. Let me see what their draft picks look like. So the Panthers have they have the 9th pick in the first round, 2 second rounders, a 3rd rounder, 2 4th rounders, and a 5th. So they could legit trade that 9th round pick plus one of those 2s. So they could trade the 9th overall and a 2nd
for the 1st overall
to move up.
And the Bears would still be able to get a damn good defensive stud in the first.
Yeah, they would move down to 9 and plus have another 2. So I could see that, honestly. That's not that too far out the realm of imagination.
I was about to say the Panthers got a good chance at getting. I see Bryce Young wearing a Panthers jersey this season.
Really?
How up are the Falcons? Because I know they're a tight position for a quarterback. Where are they positioned?
I'm actually looking that up as we speak here.
Because that's the one that's popping in my head. That would try
Falcons get Lamar Jackson.
Falcons pick 8.
Fuck you. Falcons ain't getting shit from the
So right now, here is the current first round draft order: Chicago, Houston, Arizona, Indianapolis, Seattle, Detroit, Vegas, Atlanta, Carolina, Philly, Tennessee, Houston again, Jets, Patriots, Packers, Commies, Steelers, Lions, Bucks, Seattle again, Chargers, Ravens, Vikings, Jaguars, Giants, Cowboys, Bills, Cincinnati, Saints, Eagles again, Chiefs.
So the Falcons aren't even in.
No,
round one.
Atlanta's right after the Raiders.
Yeah,
Oh,
they're
I didn't
eighth.
hear
The
that.
Raiders are seventh.
Okay.
Do you see the Raiders trading up to maybe second? Because
Adams wants to go.
If you guys are in need of a court, I would not want them to trade because Adams wants Rodgers out there.
The Raiders are such an enigma right now because I don't trust our owner. He is more and more showing himself to be even more he is more inept with a sound mind than Al Davis was with dementia. So at this point, I'm wondering just exactly how screwed up fucking Bowl Cut is. But with the 7th pick, I mean, we need defense so bad. And it's not like there's not a game-changing generational quarterback in this draft. I would rather us take a Carson Wentz and take this
proven
and take this draft and build our front defensive 7 and our offensive line and take this thing 2, 3, 4 years and then wait for the quarterback to come along. Rather, build that front 5 and front 7 on both sides of the ball than draft up or trade up and draft some schmuck that's going to peter out into. I do not want another Jamarcus Russell.
So I have the top 6,
mock draft
betting wise, the number 1 overall.
All right, let's hear it.
Bryce Young at number 1,
obviously.
Okay.
C.J. Stroud at number 2. That was
understandable.
Ohio, I believe.
Right, Ohio State.
Will Levis, I believe that was the defensive end, correct?
For Georgia,
I think so.
I think so. Yeah. I think that's a DT. I think he's a bigger boy than an end.
Look it up.
Sometimes now, if a guy plays DT in college, he winds up playing DE in NFL.
He was a quarterback. He was Kentucky's quarterback this season.
Shows what we know about college.
We're gonna learn, people.
Yeah.
Don't worry.
Anthony
I can't watch college football because it's like sticking ice picks in my balls the way the clock stops nonstop. We'll get to clocks later.
Anthony Richardson from Florida is expected to be number 4.
Is that their Q or their wide receiver?
That was their quarterback.
Okay.
So we've got 2 quarterbacks in the first 4?
No, we've got
four in the first 4.
4 quarterbacks.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Because, CJ's at USC. That's right. CJ Stroud's from USC.
Defensive tackle Jalen Carter is predicted at number 5, and
that's who I was thinking of.
He is the defensive tackle from Georgia. And then to round out number 6 is Will Anderson Jr., who is an outside linebacker from Bama.
Ooh, I think I've seen some of him. He's really good. That could be a great acquisition for your Raiders defense.
Now, see, that wouldn't be too bad. But let's not forget California. If the Raiders traded up to 2 traded up to get Stroud.
How tall is Stroud? Is he a short guy?
I got you.
I mean, I've seen some of his highlights, but I'm not.
Is he like 5'10"?
He's 6'3", so he's a good choice for number 1, and he has a very good, in Ohio State, he's got a really good line of success.
When Kyler was in the draft, didn't he go first, even besides his height, or was he in the top 5 when he got drafted?
Number 1.
I think Cardinals traded up to get him.
I'm pretty sure he was a number 1 overall.
I think so too.
Well, that was basically right after they had drafted the kid from UCLA. I forget his name.
What's his name? I know who you're talking about, but I can't.
UCLA in my mind immediately went to Cal. And I was thinking,
No, like Darnold played at USC that year. This other kid played is either Cal or UCLA.
Yeah, Kyler was number 1 overall.
Yep, sounds
He was
about
also
right.
number 9 overall in the MLB draft the next year.
Shows you how much guys want to go play baseball.
Well, he got drafted to the A's, so.
Oh well, okay.
You're picking between Devin. What's that South Park reference? Turd sandwich and
Giant douche.
Yeah, a turd sandwich or a giant douche. But
Well,
what if you put the giant douche in the turd sandwich? No. You can't mix the two.
Hey Obama, you're so fine, we love you. Say Obama.
Obama. Hey, Obama.
All right. Anything else before we jump off the NFL?
Fuck.
Raiders are gonna suck. I'm just.
Broncos are winning the Super Bowl.
Oh yeah, totally.
Yes, we've all seen what happens when Russ goes into a kitchen with the burners lit.
No. We just got to keep Lombardi the fuck out of the kitchen.
Well,
you gonna let Rex fuck him up too?
Russ is a slow cooker.
Oh, so we're going crock pot, not stovetop with the Bronco. Oh, okay, that's going to be your excuse this year.
How long did it take him
Trust
to get
the process. Trust the process.
How long did it take him to get a Super Bowl in Seattle? A couple of years. It took him a couple of years. Let him slow cook. Let him slow cook.
No, you're putting that motherfucker.
That Seahawks roster versus this Denver roster. Yeah.
Matt, y'all ain't no slow cooker. You guys are a goddamn pressure cooker. You guys waiting for your top to pop.
Wagner and Marshawn Lynch mean anything to you?
Third round is the wide receiver round every year. We're gonna get a solid fucking number 1 from the third round.
Is that what you guys got?
I think that's our first pick, isn't it, Cap?
Let me see here.
Super Bowl winning
Denver Broncos draft picks 2023. Let's see. So your first pick is round 3, pick 68.
Okay, so it's not terrible, but
round 3, pick 69. Round 4, pick 108. Round 5, pick 140. Round 6, pick 194, and round 7, pick 247.
Who has the irrelevant this year?
Irrelevant.
Yeah.
Let's see.
There's got to be the Chiefs, right?
Barring any trades. Because I know Brock Purdy was Mr. Irrelevant
for
last year
for the Niners.
I can't really find it. Who picks last in the NFL draft?
It doesn't go all the way.
Let me see here. Yeah, I'm not seeing it anywhere. Let me see. Oh, maybe NFL.com has something here.
You damn right, David. We're going to be slow cooking all season, baby.
It's a pressure cooker.
You're
You're just waiting for your top to pop. You guys let him cook for too long. That shit's going to blow up. And Walmart's going to have to pay for it.
Anyway, moving on.
There goes your bonus, Matthew.
Diamond recap.
So, the top story out of the MLB this year, or out of this weekend anyhow, so far this year, is the pitch clock controversy that apparently has butthurt so many people.
I wouldn't say I'm butthurt about it, more just confused.
I don't think I've seen what it was, so I'm interested in the...
Well, it involves my Red Sox.
Well, it's a spring training game. It means nothing.
I know, but I was just confused that spring training games end like that.
Well, see, here is the thing. Rob Manfred is probably the worst commissioner we've had in baseball in arguably 3 to 4 generations. But enforcing the pitch clock and the box clock is a great way to speed the game up. Not near as much as putting things more in the power of the pitcher's mound versus the batter's box, which we will get to later because Max Scherzer issued something that I never thought I'd say this. I agree with you 110% on this one, Max.
You agree with Mad Max?
I do, and I'm getting to that. Baseball moves, and I am a traditional baseball lover, but the game moves too goddamn slow. The pitch clock and the umpire forcing batters to get in the box and fucking stay there, and the pitcher having to throw the ball within a few, I think it's like 15 or 20 seconds. You have to get the pitch off. It's going to speed up the game. And if I'm looking correctly here, the estimates say that with the pitch clock alone, it will shorten MLB games by 23 minutes. Almost half an hour.
That's actually really good.
Yes.
It keeps normal, like 9-inning games from going 3.5 hours.
A baseball game, when you take a look at, say, the early 1970s, and Dave can kind of back me up on this, your average game took 2.5 hours. Right now, the average baseball game is right there with an NFL game. You should be able to get done with a baseball game in 2.5 hours tops, unless you go to extra innings.
I also didn't know about this ahead of time, but I don't want to interrupt you right now.
Well, Alex Cora, of the manager for the Red Sox, had something to say about the bigger bases. He said they look like pizza boxes.
They're that big?
Yeah, they're significantly bigger. It's like someone put scattered blue chew onto the base box.
I'm not gonna lie, that does prevent ankle injury. I like the idea of it.
But also, it's going to help those speedier people steal. They have an easier target to touch.
I'm not so much in favor of the expansion of the size of the bases, but think about how much time has been wasted over the years with batters getting into the box and stepping out of the box and getting back in, and pitchers just taking their sweet ass time up on the mound. Throw the fucking ball. Get the sign, get in your stance, throw the fucking ball. Yeah, Dave, I'm not a big fan of the Ghost Runner either. I'm very little of a fan of it, but at this point, I will take anything almost to speed the game up. But here is where I love the pitch clock, and a lot of people are going to be pissed off about it. Traditionalists. Well, I'm a traditionalist. At the same time, you got to fucking speed this shit up because MLB moves at a snail's pace compared to the NFL, the NBA, the NHL. You've got to speed this shit up. Now, if you want to speed baseball up, you transfer all the power to the pitcher's mound. You increase the strike zone. You increase foul territory. You make the stadiums bigger, and you're going to have outs coming like that. Baseball has no clock. That's what people forget. Baseball has no clock. To speed up the game, you need to make outs come quicker. And to do that, you increase the strike zone, you increase foul territory, you move the walls back in the outfield. That's how you speed up baseball. Outs, 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 outs. Either you hit it or you fucking don't.
And like Devin brought up, with this bigger bases, stolen bases are going to rise quite a bit. I don't know, like, if we've got people ballsy enough, like the Hendersons or the Rains, but it's definitely going to get more people, raring to go off of the first.
So I'm going to read Max Scherzer's comments Sunday. Quote, really, the power the pitcher has now, I can totally dictate the pace. Scherzer said Sunday after his spring training debut. Quote, the rule change of the hitter having only one timeout changes the complete dynamic of the hitter-pitcher dynamic. I love it. So do I. Fuck hitters. Get in the box.
Good pitching is what's necessary for baseball.
If you want to move the game along, baseball is the opposite of football. In baseball, the defense controls the game. And when you put the power in the batter's box, It is antithetical to how you've got rock versus rock there. The power of the game has to be on the defense and on the pitcher's mound to control the game. And if you don't like that, get better pitchers. I'm sorry. The next thing we need to do is increase the strike zone, because they've shrunk it to the point that unless you can throw between the nipple and the bottom of the gut, it's going to be a ball. People come to watch baseball games for action, for intensity, for fun. And when it's home run, walk, or strikeout, there's nothing going on. Increasing the strike zone, putting more power to the defense and the pitcher's mound, you get double plays, triple plays. You get, great catches in the outfield, move the fences back. And see, this is the one thing people don't understand about the game of baseball. While the diamond is set, it's 90 feet between bases, and it's 121 feet from home plate to the pitcher's mound. The outfield dimensions of a park are pretty much left up to the home team. Well, there's a reason I hate Fenway Park. It's a bandbox and completely fucks over left-handed pitchers. There's a reason I hate Yankee Stadium. It's a bandbox and fucks over right-handed pitchers. Look at last year, the Baltimore Orioles. They moved left field out about 30 feet. Far fewer home runs. Mm-hmm. Look at how much better the Orioles did last year than we thought they were going to. Oh, my God, they moved the fences back. Well, bitch, if you want to look at an example of how a park should look, go back to the Polo Grounds from the New York Giants.
You're talking about like that 540-foot wall?
Home plate to center field was 400 and something like, it was almost 500 feet. Make that start mandating that teams have to have, that you have to have mandates as far as the outfield walls. I say 450 feet to dead center, and then 400 feet right field, left field. That should be, that you still get the diamond effect, but minimum 400 feet from home plate to any one of the poles. You do that, you're going to cut down home runs, you're going to increase fly balls, you're going to get outs, the game is going to move just like that.
I will say, it was 483 feet out to center.
In the Polo Grounds, yes.
But to left and right, it was only like 280.
Right. The Polo Grounds, it had the longest to center field, but then it was very short. And then also you had the original Tiger Stadium, which had a porch in left field that actually extended over across the chalk.
Yeah.
So you literally had the fans in the game. But yeah, I say 450 to dead center, 400 to left and right. If you keep it at minimum 400, you're going to speed the game up. Fenway Park is like 290 something feet to the pole in right field.
Yeah, I was about to say Pesky's pole is very short.
And then you got the fucking monster in left that very little passes over. But I don't know. I love the pitch clock. Anything that's going to speed the game up. I love that. Rob Manfred hasn't done a whole lot that I am a fan of, but the fact that they're enforcing this, and I hope they don't pitter-patter off of it as the season starts. I hope they enforce this shit to the batters and the pitchers. Get in the fucking box, throw the fucking ball, and let's get this game going.
And Pesky's pool is only 302.
Oh, 302?
Yeah, still very short.
Insanely short.
Especially when you got people like fucking Aaron Judge and Giancarlo Stanton still in the league. Or Rafael Devers, who's a lefty.
Yeah.
Where's Stanton playing now?
Still in New York, I believe.
Yeah, Stanton's still in New York.
Speaking of power bats, Cap, do you want to run through the Padres real quick?
Okay, so over the weekend, Manny Machado signed an 11-year, $350 million contract that will keep him with the Padres until age 41. Yes, David. So basically, yes, play every game in Oakland Stadium, please, for the love of God. I love that extra foul territory. So let's just look. And I approached a few different sites for this today. So I'm putting this together. This is not a definite, but this is just more or less a list of names of what the San Diego Padres batting order could potentially look like this year. Xander Bogaerts, Juan Soto, Manny Machado, Fernando Tatis Jr., Jake Cronenworth, Nelson Cruz, Matt Carpenter, Hae-Sung Kim, Austin Nola.
Wow. I also just realized I want to shout out the immaculate, legendary career Nelly Cruz has carved out for himself. Holy!
Little bitty tidbit. I was in Arlington Stadium when he hit his first career home run. We went down to Dallas for that weekend. He had just gotten called up. We went to the game on Saturday. He got called up on Friday, and I got to watch him hit his first career home run.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Hold on. Let's see what his current totals are.
Nomar Garcia Parra, nice reference there.
All right, I'm going to do this number real quick. Boom. And here we go.
459. So I was there for number one. He's 42 years of age.
Does he get 500?
He can legit get if he hits.
I believe that's 41.
He's 41 shy. So if he plays for 2 more years and gets 20 a year, that's more than reasonable if he stays healthy.
And then
how many games are in there in baseball?
152.
152?
No, 162.
162.
Yeah, 162 games per season.
And Cap got to start see the beginning of a legend there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that part was nice, but also Kevin Millwood was pitching that evening, so
Ooh,
I would rather forget.
Good pitching.
So the next baseball topic to get to, I'm getting actually, let's take a little pause. Cap has to drop some ballast. Continue on this thing. Let's get your thoughts on this pitch clock because I definitely want to get. We've heard from Dave. We've heard from myself. I hated Durant.
David don't think he's going to hit 500.
I think he makes. I don't know if he hits 500, but I think if he does, he makes Cooperstown. It's kind of a one and the same. If he makes 500, he makes Cooperstown. If he doesn't, I think he's going to have a tough time getting in. But I want to hear you guys' thoughts on this whole thing with the pitch clock and the Padres batting order. Any order you want to field it.
We'll probably jump into the pitch clock first. As someone who did a little bit of pitching when I was younger, yeah, get the game going faster because the longer they take to get you out of your rhythm, you're going to get more tired faster. You're going to lose your rhythm, lose your control of where you're at. So, like Max Scherzer said, he can now dictate the pace of the game, which is exactly what a pitcher should be doing from the very get-go.
Yeah. I like it. I can see why there's going to be a lot of people that aren't going to like it because the pitchers are the conditions. The pitchers are going to be overworking themselves, possibly throwing out their shoulders more because it's going to start being more quicker. They're not going to be able to get there. I agree. I like the pitch clock. I personally want it there, and I'm glad that they put it in place. My books keep falling out. I want it in place, but I also see on the pitcher's side, especially with how bad my shoulders are, not being able to give yourself that time to breathe, loosen up your shoulders and get those good fast pitches out. I could also see more pitchers being able to start getting more arm injuries or what did you say about Brock Purdy's elbow? The
Tommy John?
Yeah, the Tommy John having more elbow injuries.
Cap, do you think with pitchers going at a higher rate due to time-wise, do you think it increases rate of Tommy John or
No,
Or
not at all.
injuries as a whole?
Not at all. Because Tommy John is the velocity that you throw at.
okay?
Dr. James Andrews, the renowned orthopedist at the University of Alabama, and this is on YouTube. You can watch it. Essentially, UCL is the shock absorber, the brake pads in a pitcher's elbow. I'm doing this lefty because I'm left-handed. Anytime you throw a pitch 80 miles an hour or faster, you are putting undue strain on that UCL. So it's not it's the velocity that you're throwing at and the amount of pitches you throw that has to do with tearing that UCL and seeing more Tommy John.
Not
So
necessarily a rate of fire.
it's not the rate of fire, it's the how many fires. Good one, and the velocity of the fires. And to back up your guys' point, and I was digging into my collection of autographed baseballs. One of my favorite pitchers of all time, Boston Red Sox legend Bill Lee.
Let's get a good solo layout of that.
Yeah, Bill Lee pretty much had one of my two favorite quotes ever as far as the game of baseball when it comes to pitching. He said a pitcher's number one job is to fuck with the hitter's timing, to throw off their timing and their rhythm. My second favorite quote in baseball came from Greg Maddux, who said, guys are always worried about, this or that. Just make good pitches. Just worry about the next pitch. Just put the next pitch where you want it.
Mm-hmm.
So Bill Lee, Greg Maddux. Greg Maddux is the last 300 game winner we had. Still holds the record for the shortest complete game at 76 pitches. And Bill Lee was a left
in the show at 86.
And until Chris Sale, Bill Lee was the winningest left-handed pitcher in Boston Red Sox history. Think about that.
Overtook that last season, didn't he?
A left-handed pitcher at Fenway. Bill Lee was the winningest left-handed pitcher until Chris Sale came along. And let's be honest, the Red Sox would have won that 1975 World Series had they not left Bill Lee. And he said it, had they not left me in to face that last batter, we would have won because I was fucked after that. After I hung that curveball, they should have taken me out. So there's a little bit of history. Also, to this day, I think the 1975 World Series is still the most watched World Series of all time. At least Game 6 was. So a little bit of history from the Cap there, but
a little bit of baseball history.
A little bit of baseball history, baby.
And with the Padres lineup, that is a
terrifying
fantasy. That is almost borderline fantasy team lineup.
Yes,
of just
at least those first four. Can you
Yeah.
imagine being a pitcher and facing Xander Bogaerts, Juan Soto, Manny Machado, Fernando Tatis Jr. 1, 2, 3, 4?
Yeah, that'd be terrifying.
I mean, I do not know how in the world you
don't come back from that.
Dave loved Bill Lee, pitched for the Muckman Wildcats in Nova Scotia Senior Baseball. Yes, he did. Bill Lee actually pitched his last professional game, I believe, at the age of 68, 69.
Jesus.
Okay, Terry Funk.
Yeah, I was gonna say he's the Terry Funk of
Bill
the
Lee
baseball.
Bill Lee is the Terry Funk. He is the weed smoking Terry Funk of Major League Baseball.
Is he still with us?
Oh yeah, he lives up in Canada. Bill Lee, whenever he pitched for the Red Sox and the Blue Jays, his breakfast every morning was pancakes, but he would put marijuana into the pancake batter.
Ooh, can of butter, pancakes.
Can of batter.
Can of batter.
Atta baby Bill.
And if you want to see some really cool shit, check out Bill Lee in Ken Burns' baseball documentary. He's got a few cameos in there that are incredibly insightful, but also hilarious, which is pretty much whenever there's a series of interviews with Bill Lee called Strategy First. They're all up on YouTube, and it's sort of his take on pitching, baseball, and the whole essence of the game. It's a 3-part series, and it will just crack your ass up. I mean, he's sort of like George Carlin. He makes you think, but at the same time, you're laughing your ass off.
So, Cap,
So,
I do have a question.
all right.
Since me and Devin are just really kind of coming back into the sport of baseball this season, over the last 5 seasons, who would you say would be the best pitcher? Aside from, like, your Kershaw's, Verlander.
Kershaw, his last good year was like 27. Kershaw's, he's on a per game basis. I would say the last 5 years, Jacob deGrom.
I do know of Jacob deGrom's dominance.
Max Scherzer, Garrett Cole.
Didn't he get busted in that spider tack incident?
Yes, he did get busted. It took him about a year or so to kind of get himself together after that.
But is he back to where he was?
He finished last year strong. I don't have a problem with. See. Here's the thing. I'm such a pitcher. I don't have a problem.
I like pitching.
I don't have a problem with spider tack, pine tar, or even going all the way back to someone like oh God, he pitched for the Indians. He threw a spitball.
What about the old spitball?
Oh God, what the fuck was his name?
He wrote a book, didn't he?
Oh yeah, Gaylord Perry. Gaylord Perry for the Cleveland Indians threw a spitball. Pete Rose once said he loaded up the ball so much whenever you hit it, you could see the spit fly off of it.
Damn.
Devin is more of a hitter's just sitting there going, that's nasty.
And what sucks too, because I used to
even
be
other
a
guys,
catcher.
would scratch the ball up with sandpaper or you remember the movie Major League?
Yeah.
The old school junk ball pitcher. He had like Bardol, Vagisil, Crisco, jalapeno up his nose, anything he could load the ball up with.
Yeah,
that Gaylord Perry inspired that character because when you go way, way back in the day, like in the 19-teens, 1920s, pitchers would lube the ball up with tobacco juice because everybody chewed tobacco back then. They would have the ball in their hand, spit onto the ball in their glove, kind of wind it up, load it up with tobacco juice. And that was why the ball, which would start out white, by the time you got to about the 5th, 6th, 7th inning, that thing was fucking brown. And baseball is one of those games I've always said to anyone who doesn't understand baseball, look at the beauty of it. Think about another game where you can stand in front of 70,000 people, spit tobacco juice, scratch your nuts, adjust your balls, and no one thinks twice about it.
Fucking A. Who would have thunk it?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not opposed to natural elements that may get spit, tobacco juice, Vagisil, Vaseline, jalapeno up the nose. That's just, or even stealing signs from second base. That's gamesmanship.
Yeah,
it's when it gets into like cameras up in center field. Fuck you, Astros, or guys.
Was it the Blue Jays that had the guy up in center field?
No, that was the Astros.
Oh, that was the Astros?
They had a camera up in center field that fed down to the dugout.
Oh, no. I was talking about the guy that would jump between center field and left field. Like in the stands.
That I don't recall.
I don't remember what video it was. I think it's Baseball Doesn't Exist covered it.
I need to look. I love that channel. I need to look that. I've been watching a lot of baseball bits lately.
Baseball bits is great too.
Yes, I've been binging that over the weekend. I have a yearly tradition when it gets to be baseball season. I rewatch Ken Burns baseball, Major League, Bull Durham, 8 Men Out, Field of Dreams, and 61. Like those are to get myself prepped for the season. How
are your White Sox looking for the season?
Well, we got rid of Tony La Russa, which is an improvement. We added Arkansas native Andrew Benintendi, who I'm actually going to order a jersey for later in the week when I get paid because I want.
Didn't he?
Well, he was drafted by Boston.
Oh shit, he came from Boston. That's right.
But now he's a White Sox, and I've got a code. If an Arkansas player goes to the White Sox, I get one of their. I had a a Dallas Keuchel jersey. He didn't do too well for us, but I bought it. So I'm going to buy a Benintendi jersey. That may be my MLB opening day jersey that I wear. Kopech is looking pretty good. We've been pretty good with the injury bug lately. We don't have a lot of injuries, which is my next topic I'm going to get to.
I don't want to get to the topic of injuries, Cap.
We've got we're doing okay right now. It's just a matter of keeping everybody healthy, and it's going to be a kind of a wait and see, just to be patient at the start of the year, because the Twins are a good team. The Indians are a good team. The Royals and the Tigers are kind of meh, kind of spare parts. But I'm hopeful, just because we got rid of La Russa. Relaying signs at Rogers Center,
and the fucker still couldn't win anything.
Well, now let's not forget, Dave. Well, that's Rogers. I was thinking of Montreal getting screwed over in the strike year of '94, but that's that's soup for another Sunday. So, getting to injuries, I've been keeping an eye on this.
At least some of those pitchers were day to day. Damn it!
As far as teams who are dealing with a lot of injuries right now, the Boston Red Sox right now, Garrett Whitlock, very good relief pitcher, injured. Brian Bello, injured. Chris Sale, injured. Nick Pivetta, injured. Adalberto Mondesi, great base stealer, injured. Jolie Rodriguez, injured. Trevor Story, 60-day IL. The Red Sox right now are fucking banged up. Now, granted, a lot of these are day-to-day. Apart from Story, who's 60 days, he probably won't be back until
I think me and David
late April, early May. I think right now is the timeline for Trevor Story, late April, early May, which isn't too bad. Chris Sale, though, as I mentioned, left-handers in Fenway. Is Chris Sale cooked?
I was about to say, he's getting up
now. He came up through the White Sox system. I love me some Chris Sale. I'm not an anti-Chris Sale guy, but I think Sale is cooked.
All right,
I will not be drafting him. I will not tell you my rankings this year for our draft, which is actually a month from last Saturday. It's coming up quick. I can tell you this: I will not be drafting Chris Sale because I think he is cooked.
All right, here were his season stats last season.
BaseballReference.com, the greatest website on planet Earth. Well, that and Fangraphs. I like them both.
So, yeah, the ERA last season was still decent, but not where we want to see it.
How many innings did he pitch? Scroll down.
I can't wait till I get a PC so I don't have to keep flipping through, turning off my cam and zooming in. No.
What the hell? Why is that only showing one game? Did he only pitch one game?
I think he didn't pitch much last year. Keep scrolling.
Okay, here we go. I will get these out of here.
So he pitched 2 games, 5.2 innings, 3.18. Yeah, because he was coming off TJ last year. So he still is not fully rehabbed from TJ, and he's still got arm issues.
Yeah.
I think he might be cooked.
I think Chris Sale is cooked.
He's 30 years old. He's been pitching since 2010.
He's 30. He's gonna be 34 this year. 34. Look at that. Yeah, he's gonna be 34.
He's been pitching since 2010 in the majors. I hate to say it, but why do the Red Sox keep bringing these old motherfuckers in? We did it with David Price, and he had one good season with us.
Look at the innings he's racked up: 192, 214, 174, 208, 226, 214, 158, 147. Then he tears the elbow.
Yep. It's crazy.
They let him cook too long.
It's not a matter of cooking too. It's a matter of not managing their. Look at what happened to Tim Lincecum. he was the greatest pitcher in the game
Tim
for
Lincecum was the freak, and
I've got an autographed ball of his on my shelf. I love Tim Lincecum, but they used him too much. He was pitching like 250 innings a year for 4 innings straight, and they wonder why he fell apart. You cannot do that anymore.
Didn't he do like 6 complete games in a row for one season?
No, that was Roy Halladay. He did. Roy Halladay had 7 complete games in one season. Lincecum had he averaged like 4 or 5, but Roy Halladay had 7 in 1 year.
Yeah.
They just Bruce Bochy used and abused Lincecum, but they got 3 rings with him. So, and 3 rings, 2 Cy Youngs, won the strikeout. I mean, Lincecum had a phenomenal run, but he petered out so quick.
His changeup was probably one of the best I've ever seen.
Between he had a changeup, a slider, his 4-seam fastball, but the fact that he was only 5'10", 170 pounds, but generated that kind of velocity out of that body.
It was the stance, bro. Like
he was
tried
the freak.
To emulate it too, and dude, I would throw myself to the ground trying to pitch how he pitched.
Yeah, I will say to this day, Tim Lincecum deserves to be in the Hall of Fame, and I will stand by that, because name the last time other than Sandy Koufax that a pitcher was that dominant for a 5-year period.
So
look at Koufax. Look at Koufax from 1962 to 1967, and then compare Lincecum in his 5-year dominant reign. They are pretty damn close.
Let's do it real quick. Boom. Baseball reference. All right, so I got Sandy Koufax's. If you've got.
All right, so let's look at 1962 to 1967.
All right. There's that. Jump over here. Present. Share screen. Bada bing.
Bada bing.
There is Sandy Koufax's.
Okay, so 1962 to 1967. Look at those numbers.
1962. There it is.
Look at the strikeouts.
I'm getting Tim Lincecum's up as we speak.
Wait, scroll. I think you're on the scroll up a little bit on Sandy. Yeah, you're on the lower part there.
Hell out of here. There we go.
There we go. Okay. Look at the ERA and the strikeouts during that 5-year period, 62 to 67.
1.88, 1.74, 2.04. Those are the type of ERAs that make me happy as a
And now look at the strikeouts.
That game average on 162 game average, he has a 2.76.
That's career average. Okay, now look at that 5-year span, 62 to 66. All right, just kind of lock that in your brain. The amount of strikeouts, the ERA, everything. Look how this Cy Young, MVP, Cy Young. Now pull up Lincecum's numbers during his career.
You got it, Cap.
I'm teaching y'all a lesson, boys. This is why Tim Lincecum deserves to be in the Hall of Fame.
You're going to learn yourself some stuff.
All right, let's look at 2008 to 2011. Look at that.
2.6, 2.48, 3.43.
Look at the wins he's got too. Geez, 18 and 5.
18 to 5.
Look at the strikeouts. Led the league in strikeouts 3 years in a row.
265, 261, 231.
Jesus.
Wow.
He and Koufax dominated.
The 2016 year, 9.16.
Yeah, that was rough. Yeah, let's forget
he was
that.
Hurt, wasn't he?
Yeah, I'm saying 2011 to 2008. That period right there. You take that period from Lincecum and that period of Koufax, they absolutely dominated their game for that period of time.
I didn't even know I could do this. There we go.
That is
That is why Lincecum belongs in the Hall of Fame, and I will put those stats up
Right.
anytime for anyone
And
that has a question about it.
what were the seasons for Koufax?
62 to 66, and then Lincecum 08 to 2011.
All right, I'm getting Koufax's together right now. So you got Lincecum's right there.
All right.
I'm gonna take this time to get a water real quick.
Go ahead.
I thought Dev was going to drop a deuce here.
Right on.
Nah, I was smart. I did it before I started.
All right, and here is Sandy Koufax's.
Koufax more wins, but strikeouts pretty close.
Strikeouts are very close.
Look at
Jumping
the ER.
back-
Look at the ERA. He was 1.95.
Lincecum was 2.81.
Yep. So about a run difference.
But
33 shutouts.
We're also going off of the fact that these are 4 years for Lincecum, and
And also you're looking at the this is the middle to late, the early to mid 1960s versus the
Modern
just
day.
after the steroid era. That's why I say Lincecum belongs in the Hall of Fame. Look at the FIP, 2.00 for Koufax.
and the FIP for Lincecum was 2.81.
Yep. Pretty damn close, and no one else came close during that era.
Are you ready?
That's
to
why
see the
Lincecum
home
is a
runs
Hall of
per
Famer.
9?
Huh?
Home runs per 9 for Lincecum was 0.0 or 0.6.
Koufax
Koufax's was 0.6. Like, look at that.
They dominated their sport for this. This was a 5-year period for Koufax, a 4-year period for Lincecum.
I mean, even if we even jump, let's throw Lincecum's like 5th year into there. I'll jump over real quick and get back to, yeah.
Mountain Dew.
Oh, I do love me some Dew.
Mm.
You know, Dev, if you like dyed your hair white, you could almost pull off Guy Fieri for Halloween.
Flavor
Fuck you.
Town.
Flavor Town, baby.
I need to get an apron that I wear naked, and that just says Flavor Town.
All right.
And it's pointing down the
3.22 ERA, 8 complete games, 5 shutouts, 1,067.
Home run
Home
per
run
9 is still 6.
It's the exact same, 0.6.
Ooh.
And there's the strikeouts. They're only like 200 something apart.
Yeah, and that's 1 year less for Lincecum. That's why I say Lincecum was the Sandy Koufax of his era. They both flamed out really quick, but the time they had on that 4 or 5 year period they both had on top, they absolutely dominated the game.
Yeah, Tim Lincecum was an absolute animal. Like,
Freak.
There's
Okay. So our last baseball story, I'm going to put this in our link here. This has to do with Dev's cards. And the MLB is actually launching an investigation into this. Umpire C.B. Buckner declined to shake St. Louis Cardinals manager Oliver Marmol's hand before an exhibition game Saturday. According to MLB is looking into that exchange. Marmol was upset by Buckner's response. I don't think he's good at his job, and it just shows a lack of class as a man. We are aware of Marmol's comments, and the matter is under review. This goes back to August of last year when Marmol was ejected by Buckner over a call with Nolan Arenado.
I am pulling it up right now. Sorry for the delay.
So essentially, they went to exchange lineup cards during the season, and the umpire refused to shake the hand of the manager whom he threw out. So the Cardinals manager extended his hand first, and the umpire refused to shake it. That is Cowboy Joe West level bullshit right there.
And there's one hell of a shot.
The utter disrespect.
Yeah, but we're always going to have Angel Hernandez fucking shit up because Angel will never go away. Joe West finally retired, but Buckner is kind of taking his place as the most hated umpire in baseball. I mean, he's never going to be as atrocious as Angel. Angel couldn't call balls and strikes if his life depended on it. But yeah, the fact that won't even shake the fucker's hand during a lineup exchange, that's pretty fucking low.
Yeah, that's a little low.
That's childish. I mean,
Almost
that was August of
16-year-old
last year,
man.
and you still won't even shake the man's hand. So something to keep an eye on if Buckner's ever umpiring a Cardinals game this year. And as I'm looking at our ticker, we have our first look ahead to a series that we're going to be paying a lot of attention to.
March Madness 2019.
I know Maddie's got it coming up here. I'm watching the ticker.
It is definitely coming up.
Opening day, MLB March 30th with U-Tree. Then we got the NFL draft. See, it was on there.
If only I could get this to go a little faster.
Wrestlemania 39, nights 1 and 2. Yeah, NFL draft. God, we got a lot of big events coming up, boys.
We got a lot of events that we're just sitting here and watching together.
Oh, yeah. Cards and Red Sox. The Battle of the Brothers. The weekend of the 12th through the 14th.
Yeah, I was about to say, at least it's a weekend.
I got game 1 off. I have the 12th off, so I'll be able to live stream that at your house.
Yeah, I was about to say, well, at least you get to watch that at home.
So looking to our next subject, getting into some pro wrestling, because it's been a fairly quiet week since, we did so much for Chamber and everything.
We got the Raw preview.
So tonight we've got probably going to get another Cody segment, maybe. I'm not sure.
If we get Cody and Sammy again together, I don't give a flying fuck.
I hope so. I hope we get that.
We got Damage Control versus Becky and Lita making her return.
Isn't that for the Raw Women's title?
For the Raw Women's for the women's tag team titles.
If I'm not mistaken, this is Lita's first match on Raw since her match against Heath Slater on the Raw Legends show.
Yeah. And she's teaming with the man.
11 years ago.
Wow, that's crazy to think that was 11 years ago almost.
So as someone who
might get me better there, but it might be 11 years ago.
So as a guy who grew up, I was a teenager when Lita had her great run. You were a very prepubescent guy.
I was a child
with a bottle of Jergens next to the TV.
Oh, hello, Miss Meggums.
Nope.
How does it make you feel seeing Lita in a championship match again on Raw?
Makes absolutely, positively zero fucking sense.
But do you think they're going to win?
No. But I will say, the money match probably would be Ronda and Shayna versus Becky and Lita, just because it's Lita and Becky Lynch at WrestleMania.
And Ronda being the big draw she still is.
I feel so bad for the girls in Damage Control. Becky and Lita shouldn't win, but they're probably going to.
We also have
it'll be fun though.
Asuka versus Carmella. Very women's heavy match tonight. I'm very much Demon kind of. Oh yeah, and then the big thing: Brock Lesnar to answer Omos's WrestleMania challenge.
God, I really hope that the WrestleMania challenge just gets pushed to the side. Like, no disrespect to Omos. Man,
I've got a lot of disrespect for Omos. He can barely work.
Mans can't move. But I will say, if he does just accept the match with Omos, I have no idea what we have to expect while we're sitting there during the watch along.
Yeah, no, at least Braun can actually do some work in the ring. He's a relatively decent in-ring competitor. Omos against Brock just doesn't make any fucking sense at all.
So another story that actually kind of broke today, and I love this Triple H. Mwah. He is cutting down the number of Mania matches this year. He said no battle royals,
No
Yes.
Dre.
no battle royals.
I don't like those because they just threw anyone. They didn't have any more meaning after like the first 3.
You gotta
It's
get
still going to be 2 nights, but he's wanting to cut it down to like 6 matches a night, 5 to 6 matches a night.
I'd be okay.
Which
with
I love because just because you breathe and maintain a body temperature somewhere in the mid 90s doesn't mean you get a WrestleMania match. WrestleMania
Yeah.
should be reserved for the absolute top of the roster.
And that's why I only respected the Andre for a couple years.
When
They could have
Cesaro-
done
when
instead of like
Cesaro
the
won it,
greatest
it meant
Royal
something.
Rumble. Yeah, they could have done instead of like the greatest Royal Rumble, do like the greatest Battle Royal, and it could be for the winner gets the Andre Memorial instead of whatever crown jewel thing that they did last time.
Yeah.
I mean, doesn't Braun still have the big green belt?
I think he does, yeah.
Galaxy M. Hey there, boys. How you doing, Galaxy?
That is
Hey.
Micah.
Oh, how you doing, Micah?
How's it going, brother?
Thank you for tuning in.
So, while we're on the subject of wrestling, Maddie and I were chatting this up a little bit before. We're not going to make a big deal about this, but we're going to run through the Wrestling Observer, Dave Meltzer, Uncle Dave, the most batshit lunatic wrestling writer out there now. He used to be one of the most respected. Now I think he's Dave Meltzer has become the Frank Costanza of professional wrestling to me. It is Festivus. He is the guy with the aluminum pole, the feats of strength, the airing of grievances. But over last week, the Wrestling Observer released their yearly awards. So let's take a look at this real quick. Wrestler of the Year, John fucking Moxley.
In a landslide. Cap's probably got a promo lined up.
I don't.
Hold
I
on.
really like that.
John Moxley.
I will personally say before Cap's rant, I think Ospreay had one of the best years because he had to wrestle in front of no cheering. Him and Jay White, in my opinion, had to wrestle in front of no audience cheering for a long time. And when they finally got that cheering back, they got that emotion from that crowd. And it was so well received to me. I think either Ospreay or Jay White should have won.
Let's look
Are
at
we
the
covering
time.
the fighters too?
Oh yeah, I was about to say this got the fighters as well, so we'll jump into those as well since Devin.
Well, let's look at the title of this award: the Luthez Ric Flair Wrestler of the Year Award. Arguably the 2 most decorated wrestlers in the history of the business. And the voters from the Wrestling Observer are going to put John goddamn Moxley in there. This guy can't work his way out of a paper bag. His promos suck. All he's going to do is drink your bones and eat your blood. He's going to bleed all over the place. He's going to have indie fucking stupid matches with dipshits. Yet this is the guy who the predominant wrestling fan newsletter, maybe arguably to this day, think was the Wrestler of the Year over Roman Reigns, who put together banger after banger after banger. You know, this is a diagnosis and an indictment on the wrestling world as it is. The fact that Moxley received a single first place vote and people who watched that jackass think he is Wrestler of the Year. Did you not see him against CM Punk? He was outclassed. Did you not see him against Bryan Danielson? He was outclassed.
We'll get into Punk.
Every single time John Moxley gets in the ring, he is instantly outclassed if he is across the ring from someone who even remotely knows how to work. I am so fucking sick of John Moxley, I could goddamn puke. I was a huge Moxley fan at one point. And when I heard he was leaving WWE to go to AEW, I was like, okay, finally, John Moxley's going to get a chance to show the world what he can do on his own. And then I saw what he could do on his own, and I was like, holy shit, I understand why Vince didn't want any part of this jackass.
I'm with David here. I agree that Moxley deserved it last year, but I do feel Ospreay deserved it this year. Also, pop off Cap, Micah says.
If it was Roman Ospreay, if it was Roman Ospreay and then whomever else and Moxley not even getting a vote, I would be happy.
So Roman is your wrestler of the year last year,
without question.
Okay.
Who drew the most money and had the best matches? Roman.
I was about to say him and Logan Paul had one hell of a match last year.
They did. That crown jewel match was unexpectedly fucking crisp.
I will
and the fact that not even Seth Rollins or Gunther got any of these first place votes is pretty sad.
Most outstanding wrestler of the year in a massive landslide, Will Ospreay.
Deserved.
I can't argue with that. I'm not an Ospreay hater.
Now, jumping into Devin's realm a little bit as well, MMA's most valuable fighter was Izzy Adesanya.
Highly respectable. I agree with that.
And that's pretty close. Pretty close.
Barely won. Alexander Volkanovski was very close.
Volkanovski got most outstanding, though.
Most outstanding fighter. Now, the
God
of the year definitely went to the FTR, but
absolutely.
Rest in peace, Jay Briscoe.
Absolutely.
Him and Mark were one of the best tag teams last year.
FTR and the Briscoes, 1 and 2, perfect.
Now,
the goddamn Young Bucks
over the Usos. Are you kidding me?
That's fucking stupid. I like the Young Bucks. I don't love them anymore. I like them and tolerate them. But the Usos...
I don't even tolerate them. Fuck them.
The Usos definitely deserve that number 3 spot, in my opinion.
What have the Young Bucks done in tag team competition this year that even remotely comes close?
I agree with you there, David.
Dave, I wish I could agree with you here, but fuck John Moxley and fuck the Young Bucks too.
But
I agree with Cap on the second part. Fuck the Young Bucks.
1 and 2, I agree with. The Usos have to be very fucking close for number 4, right?
Oh, I think the Usos were 5th, I think.
Are you shitting me?
And the Acclaimed were like 9th.
The Acclaimed were good this year. What the hell?
Okay.
Right, best on interviews.
MJF.
That's because MJF is himself and Moxley is himself.
Okay, no, see, 1 I agree with. 3 I agree with. Take number 2 and shove a rusty fucking fishing knife up his goddamn taint until he bleeds.
Now, this one's gonna make me laugh because Cap, it's ranked number 3 WWE, right? As we go down the list, I'm pretty sure we're gonna see it in the worst categories.
Promotion of the year should be reserved to the promotion that, and I don't have an exact mathematical formula on this, but promotion of the year should be some sort of combination of amount of money drawn and television ratings. Obviously, WWE kicks AEW's ass in both categories. AEW was not the number 1 promotion of the year. They had a couple of good shows, a couple of good pay-per-views. Now, as far as weekly TV show, yes, I will agree with that. Dynamite kicks Raw's ass. SmackDown, for some reason, they have decided that SmackDown's the number 1 show when Raw should be the number 1 show. SmackDown should be the pissant show. Raw should be the show.
Okay.
They've got things reversed here.
Yeah, but they had great matches ever since day 1 with them. That's my only argument to that, is that they had great matches every time that they were on.
See, the only thing that pisses me off about Best Weekly TV Show is the fact that SmackDown's even there. It should be Dynamite, Raw, Rampage,
Well, you have to
SmackDown.
remember Vince had the book early in the year, so
He did have the book.
Shit.
See, this is why you have to end the brand split, because you cannot have your B show outdoing your A show.
Now, before we move on, I've got to say, promotion of the year next year, definitely going to Ring of Honor.
Maybe they seem like they're gearing up.
I was about to say they're gearing up for a fucking dude. They're going.
And here comes Uncle Dave's Japanese bias.
Hey, we got FTR versus the Briscoes at number 2. But hey, this isn't even Uncle Dave. This is his fans.
Whom he Charles Manson gaslights.
I will say there's a pretty far distance between.
No, here are your top 3 matches of the year. Cody and Seth Hell in a Cell, FTR Briscoe's Dog Collar, FTR Briscoe's 1. Those are your matches of the year.
I agree with you.
I can't argue with that. I would go Briscoe's FTR Dog Collar matches first, though. I love that Cody Seth Hell in a Cell. I would put that at second.
Okay,
but
good
maybe
point,
that's just
Dave.
a little bit of tag team bias for me.
I do. Okay, I was about to say David did bring up that Bowens was hurt for a good bit of 2022. I forgot about that.
True, but man, how they turned it on the second half of the year.
And didn't they also have that the Olympic chick that they fucked up when they did their rants and made fun of the Olympic chick that pulled out for being
mentally ill? Yeah.
They were dogging on a chick for pulling out.
Yeah, she was an Olympic gymnast.
Okay, so
and she left the finals
U.S. Canada
because
MVP. Okay, it should be Roman.
Devin, you've seen these. Do you agree with the fights of the year?
Dustin Poirier and Michael Chandler
should have been number 1.
Should be number 1.
I don't think I've seen the number 1. I need to see that one.
I've seen highlights of the Jerry Glover fight, and it was great. Don't get me wrong; those two motherfuckers beat the dog piss out of each other.
Beat the hell out of each other.
But Poirier and Chandler was a dog fight. 2 of the best pound-for-pound fighters in the MMA right now, going up against each other, but not for any belt, just to kick the living shit out of each other. And the Kazmat Chimaev and Gilbert Burns, that was underwhelming. It was a good fight. It was quite underwhelming to put that up so high when we've had better fights from Kazmov than that fight.
I love that Maddie is rocking the Thurgood Stubbs 40.
You damn right.
Who's the hardest working man in the projects? Maddie Laws.
Right.
Dude, quick little tidbit today. While I was on the phones with my customers, I had a guy come on the line. He sounded just like
Walter.
Sounded just like Walter from the PJs.
Did he ask you if you tried shooting it?
No, but he was this older. I'm assuming African American gentleman. But he sounded just like Walter. He's like,
here we go, Cap. David has a completely different top 3, but I agree with his as well. He's got a damn good top 3.
I won't argue that. Ospreay and Okada tore the house down.
Yeah, they beat the hell out of each other in that one.
I think Ospreay should be the Japanese MVP. I'm sick of seeing Okada. I'm so sick of seeing Okada. And where's Jay White on that?
That's a bitch of mine. I don't understand where Jay White is here.
Syuri is
where
good,
the fuck? It should be not Jay White good though.
No, it should be Ospreay, White, Syuri, because Syuri has carried Joshi Wrestling on her fucking back. She's been killing herself for the fucking Joshi Wrestling. Mexico,
ooh,
I agree.
Yes.
I wholeheartedly agree in Mexico.
Vikingo, yes.
I would switch Mystico with Bandito.
Now, Devin, this is a no-brainer.
Well, I'm gonna put Phoenix slightly above Mystico, but I agree with Vikingo.
Yeah,
100%.
Now, I think we can all agree here that Europe's best wrestler was easily Ospreay.
Ospreay, I can't. Michael, Ricky Knight Jr.
I do not know who that is, but
I like Ricky Knight Jr. He is good.
I like
he's a young guy.
The Hodge Award looks pretty right to me.
Yeah, non-heavyweight. Yeah, that's
El Desperado Darby.
So happy to see Desperado get the love this year. Now,
Sayuri and Bianca.
I told you. I told you since January 1st, Sayuri has carried her promotion on her back.
She has. I can't dispute that, but I would put Bianca a little close. I don't know if I would knock Sayuri off, but I would put Bianca a little closer than Jamie Hayter.
I'm surprised there's not as many votes for Bianca because she's been carrying the entirety of women's wrestling in America almost. Next to
I agree,
Hayter.
but some of her matches have been a little lackluster for me, and it just felt
Which ones?
Like the recent.
Her and Bailey tore down. Her and Becky tore down.
I'm not talking about the matches between her and Becky.
I will
or
say
her and Bailey.
The one at Money in the Bank, the ladder match that they had. That one did not do well to me.
Well, the finish sucked.
That one.
The match was great. It was the finish that blew ass.
Yeah.
There was her versus Alexa. That wasn't really good.
Yeah, at the Rumble, it wasn't the best.
That one was what?
So, number one women's fighter voted by Zhang Weili. I apologize if I butchered that.
So, I don't know much about Zhang Weili, but I know she is really good. I'm not sure if this is just biased because I'm not too into the lighter weight divisions, but Amanda Nunes is so fucking good.
Mm-hmm.
Maddie, on your parlay, did you have anything with the Grizzlies and Lakers?
No, why?
LeBron's out tonight.
Thank fucking heaven.
The ankle injury he had
a
couple nights ago is still fucking with him.
I couldn't remember, but yeah, that's breaking news.
Box office draw. Israel, Usman, Diaz, wrestling, Roman, Cena, Punk. UFC, I agree.
With pro wrestling, I think we have to move CM Punk to number 2, right?
Yeah, Cena only had a one-shot appearance. Punk was there for a little bit. Oh yeah, no, he had the other appearance.
We have.
Honestly, feud of the year. I can't really disagree with this as much as I loved Punk and MJF.
Look how close it was.
It was close. But FTR and the Briscoes tore it down. We only got 2 Punk and MJF matches. We got 3 between the Briscoes and FTR.
And each one was cinema.
Yeah, I mean each one. So I'm not going to even be upset with that.
Cody and
most improved. I like the first 2, but fucking Jamie Hayter.
She improved.
I think she's been as good. I think she's been as good as she was, in my opinion.
I feel like she's done better.
MJF, Sami Zayn, Reigns.
Charismatic. MJF
when Bryan Danielson wins the Bryan Danielson Award.
So I don't know if you knew this, Devin, but oh my God! I think it used to be the Gotch Award. And
Frank Gotch,
yeah, it used to be the Gotch Award for Best Technical Wrestler, and Danielson won it so many times in a row that they were like, if he wins it one more time, we're going to rename it.
Well, see, that's why I love Gunther so much because he is such a throwback to the Frank Gotches and the George Hackenschmidts.
Talk about the fact that he's not number 3.
Yeah.
Not a lot of love for Gunther here.
I love Danny Garcia.
Wheeler Yuta's better than Garcia, though.
But Gunther should definitely be number 3, in my honest opinion. I love.
Okay, Maddie, on Dave's comment, FTR and the Briscoes, two down. Best trilogies I've ever seen. Okay, Dave, I'm going to throw a question out to you.
I do agree there, Dave.
Since you watched the Captain's Table. Trilogies of all time. FTR Briscoes, Flair Steamboat. How do you compare and contrast those two? Yeah, that's the only award Moxley should have won. Best
Vikingos.
I'll give him Bruiser Brody.
Out.
I do like that. I love the Ishii and Suzuki are right behind him, though. So, Cap, for your Japanese wrestling for the weekend, I need you to look up Ishii versus Suzuki, their last match that they've had against each other.
Okay.
They literally.
I've been slowly watching a lot more Japanese wrestling because I love
baby Cap.
Let's go.
I love the homage they pay. I was big on Japanese as a child because I grew up in an era where you had Chono, you had Tajiri, you had Ultimo Dragon, you had Muda. Yeah, I loved Japanese wrestling as a kid. I fell out of love with it because I fell out of love with wrestling for about a decade.
Did you ever watch Young Shibata?
Not that I'm aware of.
You do need to go back and watch some of his older stuff. Shibata takes catch wrestling and mixes it with the hardest hitting MMA you see, and he makes it believable in pro wrestling.
It's that catch Japanese strong style, bro.
And also Yuji Nagata, love me some Nagata.
Nagata's still wrestling, motherfucker.
Holy shit. There's
really
one more I'm
underrated.
forgetting. Tenzan, I love Tenzan. Jushin Liger, obviously. I mean,
everybody loves Liger. If you don't like Liger, you don't like wrestling.
Yeah, I'm curious Dave's thoughts. Best trilogy of all time: FTR Briscoes or Flair Steamboat?
He has
Rookie of the Year, Braun Breaker.
Are you kidding me?
So I'm gonna be honest with the most overrated. I honestly wouldn't put Tyrus there, but I also wouldn't know who I would put in the top 3 most overrated.
Roman is definitely not in the top 3 for me.
Because I don't also really watch a lot of MLW, but when I hear about them, it's never about Tyrus.
It's NWA.
Or not MLW, NWA, my bad.
Well, now, underrated, I agree with Gable.
I agree with Ricochet.
I agree with
Ricochet is not necessarily my cup of tea, but I can't really complain because I always enjoy his matches.
You enjoyed his match with Hayes.
Yeah, I mean he's not necessarily my cup of tea, but
go back to Lucha Underground. Start sipping on that Prince Puma tea. The matches he had there with the big guys.
Rookie of the Year, though, Braun Breaker. Really over Hook? Really?
Logan Paul, number 3.
I think they put Braun over Hook because Braun's had way more matches than Hook has. He's had more promos.
Yeah, but Hook's matches are so much better.
Yes.
That is true.
Paul Heyman, best non-wrestler of the year. Oh, my boy Paul.
And best TV announcer, Kevin Kelly. If you don't watch a lot of New Japan English, Kevin Kelly is...
I think Excalibur's better.
I've got no... See, here's my problem. Excalibur should be nowhere near there. Move Riccaboni up behind Kelly. Excalibur fucking sucks.
I like
Taz and Excalibur.
Wrestling moves. Him and Taz together are great.
No, Excalibur and William Regal.
Now, I have a genuine issue with this.
Where is Michael Cole in the television announcers?
He doesn't belong because he sucks.
But the fact that he's not even in the worst television, but the fact that Corey Graves is the fan-voted worst commentator. I really like Corey on commentary.
I love Corey Graves. He is a great heel commentator. But I don't like that they're clashing a lot because they're using a lot more Carmella. He's like how Michael Cole was with The Miz. And
Jim Ross, worst?
Are you fucking joking?
Okay,
I understand he's getting older, but come the fuck on. And Booker T?
Wow.
Jim Ross should
never be even considered.
Jim Ross at his worst is better than anybody at their best. I'm sorry.
I agree. No, I agree. You don't need to apologize.
Worst show Royal Rumble that we went to in St. Louis.
Guys, was it really that fucking bad?
I fell asleep.
I liked it though. Maybe because we were there and home.
The World on GCW wasn't that good?
Most disgusting promotional tactic: Vince McMahon appearing on television for a card after a sexual misconduct came out. Oh, that is. Thank you for having that as a fucking.
WWE continues partnership with Saudi Arabia. I agree. Flair's last match. Yes, that was awful.
Before we move on, best wrestling maneuver.
Worst television show? Raw?
Yeah. Look at this.
Yes, Raw is unwatchable.
NXT and NWA Power.
They're unwatchable. They're pathetic.
No. I love NXT.
I cannot sit through an episode of Raw. It is like fucking stabbing ice picks in my balls.
Now that I can't do either. It gets too much. That's why I enjoy getting my highlights and getting the bits and pieces I need. But NXT, really?
So McAfee versus Vince was awful. Yes.
I completely forgot that was a match.
Flair's last match.
Yeah, I pretty much agree with every single one of those.
Dude,
worst feud: Miz versus Loomis.
Hold on, before we move on, have you guys seen Pat McAfee's acceptance speech on the worst match of the year?
I haven't.
Let me cue that up real quick. You guys continue on with worst feud of the year and continue.
Miz versus Loomis was pretty awful. Rousey versus Morgan, yeah.
Oh, Cap's gonna fucking blow a gasket on the next one because he saw it at number 3 on the first one.
Wyatt versus LA Knight.
Yeah.
Yeah. I enjoyed the match. I enjoyed the match as a whole because it was interesting and different.
I mean, I think that match was just bad because of
Cap. I think you got an entire smoking while that match was going on.
I did. Well, I mean, I was back by the time Uncle Howdy jumped off the whatever. Best Booker Tony Khan. Fuck that.
Hey, I was about to say he might get it for me with fucking Ring of Honor. How he's making it look.
I got to give Best Booker to Trips. I hate to do it as much as I disagree with a lot of Trips booking. He did such a head and heels job of better than Vince.
I enjoy AEW's product, but I will say that pay-per-view wise, I think Triple H has.
Oh, the TV is dog shit. The TV is absolute dog shit. But the PLEs have delivered. That's why I'm giving the nod to Hunter there, because Tony's TVs are dog shit, and his PLEs are so. But Hunter's PLEs deliver.
Promoter and
all right.
Booker. I'm surprised NWA or Control Your Narrative is 3 instead of like 1 or 2.
Ah, damn. It's going to take me a minute. It would take me a long time to read it. All right, moving on. Best gimmick, Sami Zayn.
Agreed.
Yes.
Worst gimmick, Maximum Male Models at number 1, but in a very close second, Uncle Howdy. Are you fucking kidding me?
Kip Saban?
Yeah, Devin, you're in the same boat as me. Are you fucking kidding me with Kip Sabian?
What the fuck?
I really like Kip Sabian.
My voice was really high on that. What the fuck? I just realized when I said that in my head, I was like, what the fuck?
I am.
You can almost do it. See, that's why you should do Brother Love for Halloween.
I'm going to do Brother Love. I'm going to get the whole get up like we talked about in San Antonio.
Okay, Tales from the Territories. I agree. Best pro wrestling documentary. And yeah, I
Dangerous
mean,
Breed, the Teddy Hart. That's the Peacock one, right?
even the whole Tales from the Territories from top to bottom. I ate that shit up.
But that was the Wrestling Observer News. A letter, fan voted awards, and Devin, to your comment, only 5 people seen it.
Yeah. I guess you're right, David, and I'm one of those 5.
David
I'm still
is
waiting for
also-
Dave's explanation on FTR Briscoes versus Flair Steamboat as the best trilogy ever.
Riccaboni.
Riccaboni said that
in my
David
opinion.
said Riccaboni is one of the best. That's the Ring of Honor guy, and I do agree. He's fantastic.
Oh, he's great.
I love Riccaboni.
Raw has 2 talk shows tonight, and Miz gets his phone stolen. It's the worst, and so is NXT. Bray versus
Yeah, how they fumbled this ball this badly in such an amount of time with Bray. I heard a good explanation of this the other day.
I agree with David. I was about to say if he does remember that there's a tag division, the women can pop off.
I heard a good explanation on why Bray might not be catching on with the crowd as much. It's because, and I think it was it Dustin Rhodes maybe that said, I can't quite remember, but they said WWE's writers aren't good enough to keep up with Bray. Like they can't, like there's too much interference from the WWE writers. Like they need to let Bray cook.
Let Bray do Bray.
Let Bray be Bray.
So I was about to say he knows his character better than anybody else in this fucking business.
Yeah.
And we got to meet him.
Yes.
Oh, that was so
yes, we
cool.
did.
But with that being said, let's look forward to WrestleMania this year.
All right. So we know we've got Cody and Roman.
Rhea Charlotte. Bianca Kana.
Bianca Kana.
Maybe Omos Brock, if depending on how that goes tonight.
And today I've been hearing Lashley Bray.
I see that.
I'd be okay with that, I think. It's a clash of styles that I think is interesting.
Well, now here's something interesting to throw this a WWE house show end of next week. Initially, it was Sammy and KO versus Roman and Solo. It's been changed to Sammy Roman rematch in a house show.
Okay.
In Toronto.
Is it for the title in the house show?
For the title in the house show, Sammy and Roman.
Is it? I didn't see it, David. Sorry. If you did post it, it has not come through. I do apologize, David. But I was about to say he also did bring up that the writers had issues with Malachi. Black, Aleister Black.
Yeah.
But when you've got people that are so into their characters, so enthused about what they're doing, let them be them. You guys did it with Stone Cold. You guys let Steve Austin be Steve Austin.
You let The Rock be Rock.
Let Malachi be Malachi. Let Bray be Bray. These characters can easily cultivate something with the fan base.
House of Black should have been a couple champions by now if they just let them work with what they had.
We'll jump into that in just a little bit.
We got some breaking news here.
Holy shit, it's a good thing I still have the banner. Give me a second.
Breaking news!
Los Angeles Dodgers infielder Gavin Lux carted off the field Monday after suffering a right knee injury during the Los Angeles Angels spring training game against the San Diego Padres at Arizona's Peoria Stadium. The injury occurred while Lux was running from second to third base in the top of the sixth. He altered his path to avoid a throw. Lux's right knee appeared to buckle. He stumbled to the ground, clutching his knee in pain. Dodgers manager Dave Roberts, dipshit, a.k.a., said after the game that Lux heard something pop.
No way. No way.
Poor kid tore his ACL, didn't he?
Yep.
But,
You
wow,
hear something pop.
that's sad.
I was about to say, rest up, kid. The season is going to be one of recovery, and you got this. RAWBall podcast believes in you. What? So what? Who was it again? Lutz?
Gavin Lux. The second baseman for the Los Angeles Dodgers.
Is he the starting second baseman?
Starting second baseman for the Los Angeles Dodgers.
That's a position that you need to fill, like, ASAP.
Oh, fuck.
He is only in his second year. MLB. Yeah. I'm telling you, it's going to be a fun baseball season because everyone knows the Cap is a pretty, cool, calm, collected guy unless I start talking about Kenny Omega or the Young Bucks. You see me watching a White Sox game, I get fucking pissed and am tempted to throw shit.
Now, before we move on, if you could bring back one player from your previous White Sox, Devin, this question goes to you as well.
Oh, you bastard.
Who would you bring back to your team? So for Cap, what previous White Sox would you bring back? Devin, what previous Cardinal would you bring back?
Mark Burley. No question. Mark Burley.
Bring back Mark Burley to pitch?
Yep. Mine's a flip between Yachty and Pujols.
Bring one of them back.
I gotta go Pujols. He's one of my favorite players of all time.
In his prime?
Yeah. Prime Pujols.
Not Angels Pujols, Cardinals Pujols.
Cardinals
1.0. Pujols 1.0.
Him. He would have to be the first one that I'd bring back. If I could get two, I'd bring Yachty.
So David, with you and me, I think we might agree with this. For the current Red Sox, I would bring back Pedro Martinez.
Yes.
That's a good one.
Give us a fucking pitcher.
I've got a Pedro Martinez autographed jersey sitting right over here.
Yes, you do.
I love Pedro. And actually, Foolish Baseball did a episode on Pedro's 2 years of dominance, which is phenomenal. I knew it, but my God, Pedro was... Oh, God, Petey was so awesome.
Oh, shit. Taylor's stop. Just shut up. There we go. Me and David agree on the same one. Pedro all day.
Pedro Martinez, I love me some Petey. And again, another shout out to Ken Burns. Why you should watch his baseball documentary. In the final episode, he has some very nice interviews with Pedro Martinez, and it's kind of funny because Pedro, when he started out with Toronto, it was Montreal, I think. He was pretty wild. Like, he really lacked control because he was trying to throw a 2-seam fastball rather than a 4-seamer. And once he started throwing a 4-seamer,
from the 99%,
his game started to click. And at one point, Pedro typically, and they make this point in the Ken Burns documentary, typically your changeup should be about 11 to 12 miles per hour slower than your fastball. Mm-hmm. Pedro's changeup was 16 miles an hour slower than his fastball, which is criminal.
Talk about fucking off speed.
Look at his performance in the All-Star game where he struck out McGuire, struck out Sosa, struck out Bagwell.
All in a row, right?
Yeah, he struck out 2 of them and then got one of them to ground out. It was, yeah. Pedro Martinez, me and my brother used to joke. We had this this thing where we would make like pretend MLB baseball commercials, and we were thinking about like Maddie will back me up on the McDonald's like on the marquee, like where you're like advertising whatever your special is, and we had this MLB opening day commercial where you just look up on the McDonald's marquee and it's just K K K K K K K K K K K K, and the owner of the franchise walks out and looks at the guy's like, "That's not the special of the day." Pedro Martinez turns around and tells him, "That's how I spell it.
That's great.
That is a good one.
Fucking love you, Pedro.
David says, "Thank God I'm working and I get to get paid to watch the eyesore that will be Monday Night Raw." David, I might be taking a nap, but do let me know what happens with Omos and Brock, because I'm very worried about that. I really don't want that to be their Mania match. Hello, Miss Magums.
Aw.
I don't know if
All
she
right, what do
wants
we
her
got?
dinner or if she wants to get let out. So what do we got to end it tonight? What do we got going?
So, but before we, oh shit. So Tidy gets to see Sammy lose to Roman again. Tidy will be some sort of rehab.
Tidy's gonna lose his shit.
All right, before we finish off, we do have the AEW Revolution match card. That pay-per-view is coming up very soon.
Next Saturday.
Yep. Sunday.
Sunday. Oh.
So we let me get the banner down so that way we can actually see the bottom matches.
I think she wants to go out.
We've got MJF versus Bryan Danielson to main event the show. A
60-minute Iron Man match.
There's that Texas death match between Jon Moxley and Hangman Page.
I'm excited for that. Cap, I know you're not excited for the AEW Trios title match.
I am, because the fucking House of Black, I got 2 shirts of them motherfuckers are going to be the new Trios tag champions.
I really hope the House of Black take the title.
Swear.
I'm with Dev on that. I would assume, if I saw Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks on fire, I'd probably just piss on them. MJF, I think it's going to be a tremendous match with Danielson. But I think if they're smart,
this is going to be a true testament of how MJF will be as a wrestler.
I think we're going to see?
I think this is going to be MJF's. See, this is again. I was telling Maddie, AEW almost can sell me to buy their pay-per-views for one match.
For one match only, because that one match is going to take up a good portion of this pay-per-view.
But it's like last year, I bought Revolution because of the dog collar match. That was the only reason I bought it, because I wanted to see Punk and
Other
MJF.
than we were covering it.
No, that was All Out.
Were we covering? Oh, we were covering All Out. You're right.
Yeah, it was Revolution that I bought because I wanted to see the fucking dog collar match.
We were live streaming that, weren't we?
Yep. You were doing play-by-play. I was doing color for All Out.
Real quick, is it for both titles? No, it's just for TNT.
I think MJF takes this if they're smart, but I think they use Danielson appropriately to put MJF over as the absolute best in the business, other than Seth Rollins.
The Texas Death Match, how do you feel about that? You're probably going to lean towards Hangman.
Well, whenever the show's over, I'm going to go and jerk off, and I'm going to have a little bit more to show for it than after this match.
I think it's going to be fun because
fuck Jon Moxley and Hangman Page until you get your act together. Fuck you too.
I'm excited for that match. I think Moxley is going to take it away. I think he's going to win this one.
Agreed, Dave.
But maximum 60-minute, yeah.
And the match itself should tell a very interesting story. It will, because Danielson's going to extremely test not just MJF's will, but are you ready to be a champion? I've done this. I've fought adversity. Are you ready for this?
There is nobody better for this right now than MJF and Danielson. Like, after this, I don't know who MJF's next opponent will be.
Wardlow is going to probably try to go for that main title.
Wardlow's getting his belt back.
There's still unsettled business there. I will agree.
I think Wardlow's getting his belt back that night. Joe cut his fucking ponytail off.
Anybody from the firm could try to go after him?
Yeah, anybody from the firm. But we got 3 months to build towards the next paper.
Yeah.
The AEW women's title is on the line in a triple threat.
Saraya, Hayter,
and Hayter.
Is it Saraya or Saraya?
Where's Tony Storm in all this?
She's gonna help
Saraya's lackey.
See, I was digging Tony Storm as the women's champion, but Soraya, I'm more a fan of.
I agree with David here. Hangman should go over.
I feel like he should, but I don't think he's going to.
I'm more a fan of Soraya's rack than her ability to wrestle at this point. But at the same time, I would love to see Soraya win because it'd be a great comeback story.
I want to see more from her. Her matches have been lacking just a little bit. So I really hope
she's learning how to work with the neck issue, which we've seen
fucking time.
We've seen that happen with some folks. We saw it with Danielson, we saw it with Edge. You have to learn how to work with the neck issue, and it does take some time. So
she's got one of the best people. Honestly, she has one of the best people there in Danielson.
Again, as we know, AEW wrestlers don't take advice, so who the fuck knows at this point?
Joe versus Wardlow, as Devin said, this is going to
Wardlow's got to go over here.
This one's going to be a fucking meat slapper, though.
Did you guys catch that promo with him with JR? The talk about what the meaning behind this match means to him and everything like that. Yeah, JR and Wardlow. Not JR. Yeah, no, I'm right. Okay, JR and Wardlow had a beautiful promo, and they were talking about how Wardlow and Joe share any like backstories of their past lives with their teammates, and he'd mentioned the main reason why everyone was like, why did Joe cut off the ponytail? There was no need for it. In that promo with JR, Wardlow describes to him what his dad meant to him, and that his dad would always have long hair, a long beard, and everything like that. So when his dad passed away of cancer, he was growing out his hair for his dad and his beard for his dad. So when Joe cut that, the pure intensity that Wardlow had, he said, and I quote, "Joe, when you cut my hair, you cut that piece of my dad out of me, and I'm going to beat you senseless for it." And he was getting emotional, almost crying. And Wardlow is not coming to play; he's coming to kill. He is. When everyone's like, "Joe's going to kill you,"
if Wardlow does not go over in this, AEW is fucking nuts.
No, Joe,
and let's also not forget Wardlow and MJF's contracts are up in the next year. WWE's coming for them. So they have got to start positioning Wardlow to be that guy if they even want to have a chance to
WWE is going to pay absolute buckets to either MJF or Wardlow. But I don't know if Wardlow's going to leave. I think Wardlow will stay.
MJF is leaving, Wardlow's staying. They have enough big guys.
If I'm MJF, I'm leaving because Tony Khan can't book his way out of a wet paper bag. And
speaking of that, Cap, let's move on to. So this has actually been changed from everyone is banned from the ring to the Jericho Appreciation Society has banned from the ring. So Action Andretti is getting involved in this match and is getting fucked over for Ricky Starks.
Again, one of those situations, if Starks doesn't go over, then it's proof that Jericho has his dick up Tony Khan's ass.
I was going to say, Starks has to win here. You're not going.
You cannot continue to push a 40-year-old guy over an up-and-coming star like this. You have got to put Starks over here.
Not only that, you can't try to prolong his push another 3 fucking months.
So
I thought they were going to push him to the stars after his
Does Jericho really need this win?
No.
Does Jericho really need to go over here?
Not at all.
No. He's coming off of being the champion. He keeps using the Ocho. We have a young buck in. Sorry, I didn't mean to trigger you with saying young buck, but we have the young star in Ricky Starks, one of the best on-ring mics, great in the ring. He has the charisma, he has the skill, and like we were saying during, I think it was either the Monday podcast or the Elimination Chamber, Ricky Starks probably has the best damn spear in wrestling right now.
Yes, I agree with you, Dave. Watching MJF in WWE would be like a PG-13 Tarantino movie. But
yes, Starks does have to go over.
Here is the thing. I'm hoping that MJF can be that
Catalyst.
that Austin 316 force that pushes WWE out of this goddamn TV PG horse shit back into what made them so much fucking money, because
And he's so young still.
he
Yeah.
is so damn good. Why would you try and screw this up? Let him be himself. Fuck USA Network. Get on goddamn HBO. Make it an exclusive stream. The money you are going to draw with MJF being MJF. Oh, God damn it. WWE, if you sign MJF and you fuck him over and you screw up the greatest heel in the history of the business since Roddy Piper in the 1980s, I am going to track you down to Stamford, Connecticut. I am going to take my size 14 shoe and I'm going to shove it straight up your fucking ass.
And the last match that we will talk about on this card, which, by the way, David, yes, Starks has to go over.
Yes,
Starks
absolutely.
has to win. But the final match, the AEW Jeff Jarrett Memorial Tag Team Invitational.
Sorry.
Why is Jeff Jarrett still wrestling in 2023?
I don't know.
Dan
You
and
can't
Sweet
get rid of him.
Dan and Sweet Chin Wag. I love Dan and I love Jeff Jarrett, but Jeff Jarrett.
We'll jump to that in a second, David. But yeah,
Here
Jeff
is the
Jarrett,
thing.
Before you go, Cap, Jeff Jarrett versus Jay Lethal, or Jeff Jarrett and Jay Lethal versus the Guns versus the Acclaimed versus a tag team to be announced on this coming Dynamite. Go ahead, Cap.
Because I was saying about a year ago that Tony Khan should cede the booking duties to CM Punk. Punk is gone. Tony Khan should cede booking duties to Jeff Jarrett. Jeff Jarrett does not need to be in the ring. Jeff Jarrett could be a phenomenal booker. Rest in peace, Jerry Jarrett. Jeff Jarrett, for whatever ills he might have, he is a tremendous, brilliant mind. He does not need to be in the ring. He needs to be the AEW booker. But we know Tony Khan is never going to turn the book over to anyone but Tony Khan. So this match is going to be a complete display of horse's assery, because I could see them easily taking the belts off the Acclaimed or putting them on the asses. Or
They're already on the asses.
Yeah, that's right. They're on the asses.
Dynamite the other day.
I think the mystery is going to win. They're going to be like a big surprise and throw out a random team. I want them to break up that stupid fucking faction. Another reason to give Jeff Jarrett away from screen time. Jay Lethal needs to be a fucking singles wrestler, for the love of God.
And Jeff Jarrett needs to be the AEW booker. But what if the mystery team is FTR?
Then yes, that's what I'm thinking. That's what I want. I'm hoping FTR comes up and just like, nope, we're taking it. And they win. And finally give FTR the tag team reign they fucking deserved.
Oh, but wait a minute. The Young Bucks are still around. That won't happen. The Young Bucks will never allow...
They have the triple threat.
No. FTR. No, the Young Bucks will never allow FTR to hold the World Tag Team titles, because that will mean that they are number one and the Bucks are at best number two. Jeff Jarrett needs to be a booker.
I was about to say, he does. I was about to say, if the early 2000s TNA has anything to prove, Jeff Jarrett is a better booker right now.
I would be a better booker than Tony Khan. And I'm only the 2022 Wrestle Buddy Booker of the Year.
Phil is very close to a return, as in CM Punk is very close to a return.
CM Punk will never work for Tony Khan again. He will never work for Triple H. I do not know where he is going to go.
This whole thing has been a work, bro. This whole thing has been a work. He's coming back to AEW.
If it is, I mean, that would be a great trilogy for him and MJF.
One more time.
But here's the thing: it's just you cannot have these two opposing 180-degree worlds in AEW and have it survive long term. You have either got to be a wrestling promotion or a bullshit promotion. A wrestling promotion with CM Punk at the head and MJF and FTR and Bryan Danielson, or a horseshit promotion with the Elite and John Moxley and whatever other kind of god awful garbage, that the indie marks want to go for.
Oh yeah, no, David, you are absolutely 100% right.
Yeah.
Ishii would eat that 40-year-old man up and chew him fucking out.
Kenta can fucking get his revenge.
Kenta can get his revenge.
You took my fucking move, bitch.
All right. So before we move on to our final segment, which is just our outro, final thoughts. The tag team match, who's winning that? If it's FTR, they're winning. But other than that, I think
I'm sticking with the mystery team.
I'm staying with the mystery team because you can't put the belts on anyone other than the Acclaimed or the mystery team if you are of sound booking mind, because no one is more over than the Acclaimed, and you either need them to be chasing the champions or be the champions. That's my thoughts on that.
Yeah, I think it's definitely got to be the Acclaimed, for me at least. All right, Jericho versus Ricky Starks. It has to be Ricky Starks, but something tells me it's gonna be fucking Jericho.
If Starks wins, if Jericho goes over, then that means Tony Khan is choking on his dick, on Jericho's dick.
David says that FTR is his pick for the mystery. So if FTR is the mystery, that's my pick, but I'm going to go with the Acclaim just to say something different. Yeah, Ricky Starks has to go over.
If Jericho goes over, then Tony Khan just got a great shipment of pure Colombian blow, and he is enjoying every bit of it for this booking.
The match between Joe, it has to be Wardlow.
In my opinion, if it's not the main event, that match right there is going to be my match of the night.
What, Samoa
Joe Wardlow?
It's going to be one of the best meat slappers I think we'll have in the past several months.
Is Matty going to be breaking out his bottle of Jergens?
I was about to say, I don't know if we're doing a live stream for it because I don't know if we can chill out the money for it, but there's a possibility.
I mean, if we both want to, I'm not sure. We'll have to. I know that's.
Well, I was say one of us would have to do a Bleacher Report account, I believe.
I've still got my Bleacher Report. You've still got yours. We can discuss that and see if we want to really
pay for it.
Well,
you could pirate it.
Shush,
please.
All right. So
anyway,
we're all in agreement that it's Wardlow over Joe.
Yeah,
right?
gotta be Wardlow.
I think we're all in agreement that Saraya is gonna win.
God, I love Saraya. She's got so many assets and great tracts of land.
I think Jamie Hayter keeps the belt here.
Really? Okay. Yeah,
I think Jamie Hayter keeps the belt. We're gonna get to your comment here after the fact, David. The trios titles. I know Cap cannot stand the Elite, so he's going House of Black.
I'm going the House.
To win this match.
Go into the House.
We got Mox, Hangman. I already put my strength in. I'm going Mox.
Give me Hangman begrudgingly because I think he still needs to learn a few lessons. I just do not want to see John Moxley anywhere near professional wrestling.
I think Hangman wins this match. And the main event after 60 minutes, what do you guys think the final count will be and who wins?
Danielson at a close tap out. As to MJ thinking he's going to be able to hold on for as long as he can. I think Danielson's going to make him tap at the very last second.
What's the final score?
4-3.
Damn. God
I think
damn.
it's going to be a big one. There's going to be some moments where MJF might get disqualified for trying to hit him hard, so Danielson gets a win. But
hit him with the
ring, damage him for a little bit, lose a fall. He gets a fall for that after fucking up with the ring, and I think it's going to be a close 3-3 for the last 10-15 minutes.
Damn.
And then Danielson comes out with the win with the close finish with the submission.
And Cap?
If I'm booking this, MJF 1-0.
You have it go 60 minutes until the very end.
If I am now I honestly I think it's going to be 3-2 MJF. But if I'm booking this, it's MJF 1-0.
And you, Matt?
I was also going 3-2 MJF.
Okay.
And
I think it's going to be 3-2, but if I'm booking it, I'm going 1-0 MJF, winning at the very cunt hair end of it.
Okay.
And that at least sets up either MJF Danielson 2, or I can have MJF versus Wardlow. I'm giving myself options here, but if I'm booking it, MJF goes over 1-0 at the very tail end.
I could see that happening with Cap's way, MJF, Danielson 2, last man standing.
Now, after AEW Revolution, we're going to talk about this real quick.
All right.
David has said, what are your thoughts on Eddie Kingston versus Claudio?
Ooh.
Ring of Honor World Title.
Get my britches all drenched.
So, Cap, you might not know, there is about 15 years of story behind this match.
If I'm not mistaken, Eddie Kingston and Claudio have not had a match in about 11 to 13 years.
Absolutely.
This has been brewing for a solid 10 plus years with them being separated.
Genuinely hates this man.
And Matt, me and him had a quick discussion before when he stopped by. We fucking need Chris Hero.
We need a Chris Hero appearance.
I'm very torn on this as a fan and as a booker. As a booker, given the climate right now, I would have Kingston go over. Because
I would as well.
Same.
Because the people love Eddie, and I think a run with the Ring of Honor World Title would be very deserved for a guy who I don't think he's all that good. His promos are okay. He's kind of got he's like just good enough that I respect him. Claudio is I'm not that impressed by Claudio as a draw. I love his in-ring work.
I was about to be like, my guy.
No, I like Claudio as a worker. I'm not that much into him as a draw. If I'm the booker here, I'm putting the belt on Kingston and see what happens.
Yeah,
because
give Kingston
because I know
run.
Give Kingston a run because the people love him. Let's see what happens. We can always put it back on Claudio if it doesn't work. But on this particular given occasion, as a booker, I'm putting the belt on Kingston in a very hard-fought, close match. To give Kingston that moment, and we'll see what he does with it.
It's going to be an absolute slobber knocker.
It's going to be a very good moment at the end as well after he beats Claudio, I think.
Yeah, and Kingston, and again, I shit on Eddie Kingston a lot, but at the same time, he's worked his ass. It's sort of like that Mick Foley against Rock thing. It's like he has worked his ass off so hard. He does cut some really good promos. And it's like, I know I can always put the belt back on Claudio if it doesn't work out with Eddie. And if Eddie has a really, really just slobber knocker match with Claudio and he goes over, we can see what happens with that run. So I'm willing to put the belt on Kingston at this point just to see what happens.
All right.
And now what is it? Bring one?
I believe we're not going to do that segment for tonight.
That's fair because it's almost 7 his time, 6 hours.
We've gone about 2.5 hours.
Yeah.
So with that being said, thank you everybody for watching. I'm going to pass it to Cap as he will plug whatever else we will talk about for the rest of the week.
Weekly podcast every Monday. We got March Madness coming up. I'm keeping an eye on the tournament brackets. I'm gonna try and put together a bracket pool between the three of us to see maybe we each put a little bit of dinero.
Oh yeah, we have to throw
see
money
who wins some money. I'm very much looking forward to our fantasy football or fantasy baseball draft in about a month. Opening day, March 30th with U-Tree, the stream against suicide, where we are going to try and raise as much money as we possibly can for #988, the suicide hotline.
And I will say, I have not announced this yet. I will be donating $100 personally to 988 for this charity stream. So
as will I.
It will at least get 200, and I think Devin said he's throwing.
I said $50 I'm throwing in 50 myself.
So it's getting $250 from the team RAWBall. So please donate, please share, because it's going to be a fun time. And thank you so much, U-Tree, for joining us for that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Wrestlemania is going to be a fun weekend. NFL draft. We got a lot of fun stuff coming up. But yeah, the main thing I'm looking forward to is the stream against suicide, which is it's going to be us sitting down watching the main event of opening day, which is my Chicago White Sox taking on the World Series champion Houston Astros. But the whole purpose of the night is during the course of that stream to raise as much money as we possibly can for suicide prevention awareness. U-Tree is going to be going gangbuster for us because without revealing too much in speaking with him, this is a subject that is very close to his heart as it is all of ours. So, it's going to be fun. We're going to be watching baseball. We're going to be making some predictions for the season, but ultimately our goal that night is to raise as much money as we possibly can for a very important cause that is near and dear to all of our hearts. As I said on a previous network, take care of yourself, take care of someone else, help us all stay here because, at the end of the day, it's not worth it. And at the very end of the day, at least you're still here.
Like I said on the Greg Cherry Show, you're somebody's reason to smile. You may not think it, but you're somebody's reason to smile. And I think that's a good way for us to end the show. So, Devin, thank you. Cap,
thank you for having me.
David, Micah, and that random third person that jumped in during the stream.
Hey,
thank you for jumping in.
Thank you, guys. We appreciate all of you.
Thank you so much for watching. This is our reminder to stay safe. Stay safe. Wow, I fucked up my catchphrase. Stay safe, stay healthy, stay hydrated. RAWBall it out, ladies and gentlemen.
When you RAWBall with us, we don't just shoot off the hip, we nut off the hip. Oh, he did it again, Cap! He left the stream with 2 seconds with the head! Oh.